Having a good credit history in the United States is undoubtedly one of the most important things you should have. In this video series, I'll guide you through the importance of credit, how to build it, and how I got my credit for over 720 in less than a year. So whatever reason it is for you to build credit, let's get started. There is a lot of reasons you need to have good credit in America, obviously. And just so you know, America runs on credit. Everything from buying a car, from to buying a house, credit cards, everything is running on credit. So one of the main things, for example, for people in America is to buy a car. If you want to buy a car, you need a good credit, undoubtedly. And everything, all the cars you see, people buying cars, that's all of that. People buying, most of them, people buying credit. If you can afford a car that's like $3,000 and you have to spare $3,000, you just go pay in cash. But if a car like this, for example, Lexus, right? It will cost over 20,000. This is probably like 30, 35 new, right? Most people don't have 30, 35,000 to spend on a car, like just give cash, right? And that's totally okay. You don't have to do it. If you do, it's better. If you buy an older car, like I recently did, and I just paid in cash, it's even better because you don't pay interest rates. But if you want a car, and people, you need a car in America, like for sure, you probably realized it already, then you will need credit for that. Without credit, you will just either, no one will give you like $30,000 if they don't know you, right? And credit is something that gives you trustworthiness, right? Next is a house. Obviously, another part of American dream is to live in a house, be married, drive a car. You need a car. Obviously, then you will need a car too. You need a house too. Having a house is important. It's one of If it's one of your goals, you will need to have a good credit for that. Because if a car costs only $30,000, average price of a house right now would be anywhere between like $300,000 to $600,000. No one like most people don't have, like, let's say $500,000 just to buy a house in cash, and obviously no one does it. If you Even if you would, there's just no reason to put 5 million or like $500,000 to buy a house, because you can spend money otherwise, right? Or you just simply don't have it, which is most people. But having credit will give you the ability to buy a house. So let's say instead of putting $500,000, you will put like 50,000, right? 10%, or 100,000, or like 25,000. And there's many programs for first-time home buyers, like 3.5% down payments. So it's even going to be less. But the point is, the rest of the amount you will take as a mortgage, and you will be paying off in the next 15, 30 years, right? Depending on how big your mortgage is. And you are going to be paying interest. So first, to buy a house, to have that opportunity, you need a good credit. Second, you obviously need income to prove, and you need like 2 years of it, but we're not gonna go into details in this video. But you will have to have credit, and the better your credit, the better your terms, the better your annual percentage rate. So it's how much they charge you for that debt, pretty much. So obviously, there's a house. Next big thing why you need credit in America is so simple, but if you want to rent an apartment, they will check your credit. How crazy is that? Imagine you go to an apartment complex, you have the money, you have like first deposit, for example, first month's deposit, last month's deposit, whatever your landlord wants to charge you. But it's not enough. You have the proof of income. You have like, hey, here's, I'm making like $70,000, $50,000, whatever, right? Three times the rent they want in the United States per month. So let's say apartment is like $2,000. You make like $7,000, right, before the excess. But that's not enough. They'll also check, they will run a soft credit. I will explain it later. And they will want to know what is your credit score. That also shows you how important credit is, because credit is again your trustworthiness. And if it's bad, they might charge you like a bigger deposit or a higher rent potentially. But if you have good credit, obviously maybe you're not going to pay deposit at all. I have a personal history with this, because even the apartment I live in right now, I needed to. They asked for my credit, and I didn't have it back when I moved in. Luckily, I had a friend, and they had this option for a cosigner. So I had a friend who had a good credit over 700, and they just run his report. He said, I know Bogdan, I will like vouch for him in case he doesn't pay. They run his credit, they run his income, and they said, okay, his credit is good, his income is good. Bogdan, me, can live in this apartment. How crazy is that? And I don't know where you're coming from in America, like where did you move from? But I know it was different in Hungary, it was different in Ukraine. It probably most of Europe is different. They don't run your credit. All they need is income. Or if you rent from a private parties, they will just not care at all. Like you just tell them what you do, and like I did, like my central apartment back in Hungary, in the city center, nice apartment. I paid 400, but it's a lot for Hungary, right? It was like half of average income, but yeah, I didn't have to deal with any of this, but you have to deal with this in America. So there is another reason to have good credit. Now, this is really big one, so we're not gonna get into details, but credit cards. As I said, America runs on credit, what it means, and it incentivizes you to buy stuff with credit cards. And I'm gonna explain. It's very interesting. So when you go and buy something with a debit card, there is no bonuses. No one gonna give you cash back for paying with debit cards or any protection at all. Credit cards, they offer better protection. They give you perks like cash back. For example, you go and spend $1,000, they give you like 2% back just for using credit card. Credit cards, and that's crazy. They give you access to lounges in the airport. So if you want to fly, like wherever you're flying, and you, for example, you have like American Express card, credit card, they will give you access to a cool lounge with like unlimited food and alcohol and whatever. I still yet to get to that level where I have these credit cards which give you like cool limits like that, perks, lounges, whatever. So I'm still exploring this, but that's just what credit cards give you. Now I have another example. When I was renting a car, and you probably will rent a car at some point, they asked for my credit card and I didn't have one. So instead of charging me no deposit, they charged me like a bigger deposit, like $500. They blocked on my debit card just because debit card is like less secure. So it's crazy. Now next, another thing is like credit card is like the whole game you can play, and also the whole credit history thing. It's like I treat it as a game. You just get better at it, and it takes time, and then you get access and like cooler features in life, right? For example, this card from Chase Sapphire Preferred, it will, like, for opening this card you will get a bonus, for spending you will get a bonus, and you can retrieve your bonuses and points for rewards like traveling, staying better hotels, lounges, etc. There's a whole thing, we're not gonna get into details, but for example, for opening this card you will get 60,000 bonus points, which is a lot, which is like $600 by itself, which you can get in cash, I think, with this card, right? Or you can redeem it for $750 in travel through their portal, Chase Travel, right? $750 just for opening a credit card and spending $4,000 in the first 3 months, which you will spend anyway. So why not use credit cards instead of debit cards and earn points, get better rewards, and just generally have money? Like, who doesn't want extra $750, right? That's another cool perk of having a good credit score, because this card is available only for people with excellent credit, right? So like 700 and above, etc. I already have Chase credit cards and I want to get this next because it looks really cool. Next, after you get your credit cards, like personal credit cards, there's a whole nother level of business credit cards. And if you, like me, you came to America, you're ambitious, you want to open a business like I did already, you will want to also spend money on your business, right? So instead of spending it with a debit card, with your bank account debit card, you can spend a credit card. There's even more bonuses, there's even higher limits, there's different perks. I'm also yet to open my first business credit card, but the reason you need a personal credit score is because to get a business credit card, they will run a report of your personal credit card. So at least for the first credit card for business, you will need your personal credit score to vouch for it, because they're like, who are you? Like, why should we trust you with money? Like, credit is pretty much giving you money. The banks give you money. And they're like, why should we trust this guy? Who is this person? You need to have credit. Credit literally says like he's trustworthy, he always pays his bills on time. Okay, that was a lot. There was car, house, apartment, credit cards. You got the idea. Now the next thing I found out literally today, and it's really interesting. So it's about dating apps. You know, like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, whatever. There is another dating app that literally just came out. Like it's a new thing. It's more like an experiment still, from what I read. But this dating app, it's only for people with good credit. So like 780 and above, I believe, or 700 and above. So you're not gonna get this. You're not gonna even get approved for the dating app if your credit is bad. How crazy is that? And if your credit is bad, they will send you like materials to get your credit score higher. Because if it's like 500, 400, they're like, here are the materials, go study, go learn, improve your credit, and then you can get back and like search for a love of your life, right? That ties in with a study I also just found researching this video, and that is like crazy. But look at this. Individuals with high credit scores are more likely to form committed relationships than other similar individuals. And when compared to the highest scoring singles, those with the lowest credit scores are about 30% less likely to form a relationship in a given year. Look at this graph. These are the credit score ranges, and from 700 it's considered to be a good credit. 850 is a maximum, right? And look, odds of forming a relationship next year. If your credit score is above 700, odds go way higher. If it's like 450, you're not gonna even date. And it makes perfect sense because people who have financial security, people who are financially stable, like they just make better decisions in life, they have less stress, less pressure, all of this stuff. So it's a crazy like benefit of having like good credit, but it is what it is, right? Now, this video is just an introduction of why is it important to have a good credit. I got my credit score to 720 kind of range in less than a year. I'm gonna talk about it in the third video of the series. And here is a fun fact for you. The average debt of Americans, and that's not the debt that they're like in debt, oh my god, how bad it is. No, it's like how much money is available for them on credit cards. So imagine you have like 10 credit cards with like $3,000 limit average on each, and that will put you in like $30,000. $30,000 of credit card debt is how much available on average to average American. And here I took also some notes about why is it important to have good credit. So we went through car, house, etc. America runs on credit, as I mentioned. And someone told me this when I came to America, that credit is one of the most important things. So ever since I followed the advice of the pilot who I met, American pilot, thank you so much for introducing me to the concept, the game of credit history. Another cool benefit of having credit is just feeling of belonging, because everybody in America does have credit histories, credit cards, buy phone, cars, even phones in credit, right? Like iPhones, you see like everyone in America has an iPhone. Most of them are like financed, and they pay $100, $200 a month for a phone. They pay $200, $300, $400, $500 a month for a car, and they pay like mortgage later on in life. They pay like $1,500 to $2,000 a month for a house. And then there is also obviously like student debt, which a lot of Americans have, which is crazy. The average is like $30,000 or $50,000. That's a lot. So you'll just feel like you belong if you have a good credit. You will feel more secure because there is just more opportunities unlocked to you. As we spoke today, and it can be like a status symbol too. You can flex of having a good credit, and there are some credit cards that are available for premium elites, and if you have one of them, you can get them only by invite. You will have like, you can just flex on it. It's just like additional small benefit, but it is what it is. So credit takes time, and the best time to start building your credit was like yesterday, or the day you arrived, the day you got your social security number. You should have started building your credit. Like I didn't, because I didn't know. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistake, because the big factor in having good credit is age of your accounts. So it's not something you can rush. You can be like very smart about it and make tricks. No, it's like it just takes time to build a good credit, like for the most part. So you have to start now. In the next video, I will talk about common terms in credit history, how to start building it, how to get what is secured cards, what is authorized users, etc. I'll go into way more details. Today, I familiarized you with the concept of credit, why you need it, why it's important, what perks you can have. And in the third video, I'll go about details of how I got my credit score to 720 and above, and how I keep building it. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments everything what we spoke about today. What is the most important reason for you to have good credit in America? Is it buying a car, buying a house, or getting the perks from credit cards, traveling, or just feeling like you belong? I would like to know that. And like, subscribe to not miss the future videos. Go watch the previous video I've made about my first year in the United States and how I spent it, how I got to a place where I'm now. I went through details. And I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next one.